Today we're going to be working on a 2012 Nissan Armada. We'll be installing a V-line in here, and we'll show you how to do that. Alright, so the first step here is we need to get the shifter back so we can pull the radio trim out. To do that, you're going to lift up this little tab here. We're going to use a pry tool for this. There we go. And now that we've got that up, we're just going to be able to press down in here on a button, and you'll feel it go down, and then you can shift down in gears. And so we'll put this all the way back, and now we can start to take out this trim here. One important thing to note, when you do slide this back, make sure you do have your parking brake on, otherwise your car can roll. Alright, so to get out the bottom trim here, we're just going to be using a pry tool, and we're just going to start at the top. We're going to pull a little down, and then from here, just work your way around and kind of pull on it. It's just going to be these 3 clips on top, and then there's one on either side like this. And now we can disconnect all these plugs back here. I'll come back to this one in a second. We're going to do our cigarette lighter on the other side. And then for this plug right here, I tend to actually use the pry tool to get this one, because it's kind of hard to get that clip. If you just push down on the clip and hold the bottom of the plug, you'll be able to pull it out easily. And then from here, we'll take out some screws next. Alright, so we're going to take out the 2 screws we can see on the front here. And then next, there's going to be 2 more screws on either side. One up here and one up on the left side. Alright, so as you can see up here in the top of the middle screen here, this is the bolt that we're going to be taking out. And then we've got one right down here, this is the one we just took out. So just directly above it in this little cavity here. Alright, so we'll go ahead and take this one out over here. And when I do take this out, I'm going to put my hand on the underside here just to catch the bolt if it does come loose. There we go, we got that one out. Now we'll go to the driver's side one here. There we go. Now I've got that one loose. Alright, so now that we have the 4 screws out from the bottom here, we can go ahead and pull out this whole assembly. We're going to have 2 clips at the bottom here, so it's kind of easy to start with those. Just pull those out, and as you can see, some of the other clips already came loose. I'm just going to work my way around and make sure the rest of them come out. And now we've got this full panel out here, and we can start disassembling it. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and disconnect all these plugs on top here. And on the driver's side here, we have this plug that goes in on the side. There was a retaining clip for it here that looks like it was broken at some point when the radio was taken out. So you might have to get this clip loose if it is, plugged in. All you need to do is just squeeze in on both sides with a pry tool and it'll pop right out. Go. And then lastly, we'll have to take this side out right here. And it was kind of like what I was just talking about on the driver's side there. Just got 2 clips on this plug. There we go. And that'll pop out. And we've got another one on the side here. So now we're ready to connect our harness here. We have the MCF NIS8, and we're just going to be connecting that to the factory plugs back here. And then all of these male plugs here are going to be going into the radio. And then for the steering wheel control wire in this vehicle, we don't actually support it due to a factory limitation and how they use steering wheel controls. So we'll leave this disconnected. And then this end here of the harness will be going to the glove box to plug into the V-line. Next, we've got our GPS antenna here. I'm just going to peel off the back. There we go. And then for this vehicle, the best spot we found was actually back here on top of the gauge cluster itself. So we're going to stick that back here. And once you get that in place, you just want to hold down on it for a second to make sure that the glue actually sticks, or the adhesive. And then from here, we're just going to route the harness to the back of the radio. Alright, so now we're ready to run our wires to the glove box. In this vehicle, it's super simple. There's a little slot in the back here that's not used for any mechanism or anything. It's just a slot. So we're going to put our wires back behind the radio here. And we're just going to slide those over. And then from here, should be able to pull those through. So we've got our main harness through here. And next we'll do the GPS. Now that we've got both of those through, we're going to go ahead and plug our V-line in here, and then we'll tie up our wire slack behind the radio. Alright, so now we're ready to get everything reconnected behind the radio here. We'll start with the back of the radio itself. So we'll do this plug over here. And then for the plugs that are on the very sides of the panel, we do have those clips that we pulled out earlier. So we're going to slide those back in. And we'll do the same on this side. Alright, got it. And now for the passenger side here, we'll plug this one in. And then we also have that same two clips here. There we go. Perfect. And now that everything is plugged back in for this panel, we can go ahead and slide that into place. And we're going to line up the top here, and then for the bottom, you want to make sure that all your plugs for the lower panel are pulled through the bottom here and that they're not going to get trapped under the trim. And then from there, you can just slowly push it into place. And you just want to push around all the corners, make sure that every clip went in. And then from here, we're ready to bolt the radio back in. And now we're ready to put in our 4 bolts here. I like to put in the 2 bottom ones first, just to make sure the radio gets lined up. Alright, and now that those are in, we can go ahead and put in the bottom panel here. And for the bottom panel here, we're just going to go ahead and plug all these plugs in. And then we're just going to line up all the clips here. go. And now we've got everything reassembled and we're ready to test the V-Line.